Hey, prayer organizers, it's Melissa, and we are doing something that I rarely do, which is rewind episodes, but there's a great reason for it. So, this is our second rewind. If you missed the first one, just go back one episode. There was an organizer that started in our Inspired Organizer coaching group when she was a brand new organizer. I interviewed her like 2 weeks after she had started her business, wanted to talk about what her hopes and dreams were and how she got into organizing in her first year. And then I interviewed her almost exactly a year later to figure out how year one went. And then I interviewed her the other day to see how year two went and to get her impressions and get all of her wisdom as she starts her third year in organizing. I wanted to give you the rewind episodes so you didn't have to go back and listen to them. And here's the other thing. So I conducted these interviews. Obviously, I was there. And when I went back and re-listened to them, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a gem. That's a gem. That's a gem. There are so many things in this conversation that even for me, who has been organizing for a long time, so much wisdom in these, just had great conversations. So I think no matter where you are in your organizing journey, you will be able to find something in these conversations. And it will be a great reminder so that when you hear our brand new interview in a couple of days, you will be able to say like, oh, okay, I can get Kim's whole journey and here's what I've learned on my own journey and how can I put those things together. So I am going to give you our year one update. This is our second podcast with Kim, a little bit of a rewind. Here's why I'm excited to talk to you today. It was 1 year ago, almost exactly a year ago, that we had you on the podcast. And you were at that time a baby organizer. You had just started your business. And the other day I was like, oh, I know, because I talk to you a lot, how far you have come in that year. But I want everybody to hear how far you have come in this year. And I want you to talk about all the things you've learned. And so I'm thrilled that you agreed to be here with us today and do your year wrap up.
Absolutely. I'm excited too. This is very cool to be able to share everything that has gone on the last year.
Yeah. All right. Let's just start out. Let's give everyone a recap. When did you start your business? Where are you? All that good stuff.
Technically started in November of 21, but I launched in January of 22. So my business is technically established in 22. I went full board, jumped with both feet in, and just started plugging away, listening to lots of podcasts, coaching, doing all the things to get myself foundation to be able to start my very own organizing business. Been organizing, obviously, my entire life, as most organizers have, with the exception of you.
That's right. I started late.
You started a little late. But so it just became more of my journey to becoming a business owner, not as much the organizing piece of it.
So what would you give yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 when you first started out? So a year ago at this time, what would you rate yourself in terms of like confidence, business knowledge, all of that kind of stuff?
Oh boy. Confidence, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, my confidence was about a 2.
Okay.
On a good day. And then I think today I'm on the upper end. And depending on how much sleep I get the night before, I'm anywhere between an 8 and a 10.
Okay. Sleep is important, by the way.
Sleep is very important. But what people don't understand is, unfortunately, projects live in your brain in your sleep. And so the Tetris game goes on while you're sleeping, and that can sometimes interfere with the REM sleep. But definitely confidence has played a huge part in my success this last year.
Let's talk about that, because you and I have been working together for a while. And it was at the beginning, because we all, by the way, this is not just you, it's all of us. All of us struggle with confidence on sometimes a daily basis, sometimes an hourly basis, if I'm being honest. Like, what were some of the things that got you from a 2 to an 8/10?
I started to write down some notes today about things that would be important for me to share. And the very first thing I wrote down was being okay with mistakes. Yeah. And those mistakes can range from the back end of your business to being in the home and realizing when you left, oh, that was a really bad idea, what I just implemented. I really need to fix that. But being okay with those mistakes so you don't beat yourself up over it. And the biggest thing you take away from those mistakes is learning. You have learned what you're going to move forward in your next job. I think that is going to be what I have learned the most this year is being okay with my mistakes and being excited when I make them because they're getting me to a much better place.
I would love for this needs to be like, I don't know, a t-shirt, a billboard, a like what I don't know, because I think that a lot of organizers struggle with perfectionism. And by the way, that's a great trait for an organizer, right? We want
Mhm.
people to, give people beautiful homes, but that can also sometimes manifest as like, oh, I made a mistake. I'm going to beat myself up about it for the next 16 weeks. And being able to say, you know what? I did that. I learned from it, and I'm going to not do it in the future.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, be okay with your mistakes. I made some mistakes right off the bat. I invested a lot of money, which you don't have to start an organizing business.
Correct.
We've all talked about that, but it was important to me to do that. And I went a little overboard, and that's okay. I'm okay with going overboard because it's helping me in this next year. But I do want to rewind just a little bit. So at the beginning of 2022, I came up with a couple words. They were going to be my words for the year. And one of them was outsourcing. And I did that. And I'm so happy I did that. But it also made me realize it's important to outsource when you're ready for that outsourcing. And as an organizer new in the business, I outsourced so many things right away. But what I didn't realize is for myself, I wasn't ready for all of that. I didn't have the bandwidth. Technology is not my strong suit. So I thought, okay, I have to outsource all of it. Everybody will do it for me. But you still need to understand when you outsource, you still have to understand it. You might be able to pay somebody to do it and get it all set up for you. But unless you're paying somebody to work for you on a daily basis, which some organizers have, you have to still learn how to maneuver within those programs or apps or whatever you invest your money in on. And so that I definitely took that away from my first year. The best advice I can give to new organizers getting into business is to focus on your SEO and Google.
Yep.
Those are number one and number two.
And they go together.
Hands
So those
down.
things,
Yes.
those things are interlinked.
Yes.
So,
whether we like it or not, Google runs us. We depend on Google, and you have to figure out how to maneuver within Google and manipulate Google to have it work for you.
and I want to go back because you've said a lot of important things, and this goes along with the SEO and the Google piece, but I want to go to what you said about you still have to understand the things that you are using, right? Even if you are not a super techie person, even if that's a struggle for you, you still have to have an entrepreneurial understanding of the key things in your business. So I know for you, because I know you, I know one of the things you're talking about is you went with Dubsado as a CRM and you had someone set that up for you, but you still struggled with implementing it because it's pretty complex. And what you said that I want to really touch on is do the investment in the right thing at the right time. You may not have needed that to start out with. Is that fair?
Absolutely correct. We all need Google. One of the things I find in our Inspired Organized group, a lot of questions from the newer organizers that join is, where do you go get your clients? Where do you find your clients? Well, you want your clients to find you. Yes, you do need to get yourself out there, but you also want your clients to find you as much as you want to be able to find your clients. And the only way to do that is through Google.
Yes.
You need to do it in your website, your SEO.
Tell us a little bit about what you learned about those things this year and what you have done that has made you successful.
Absolutely. So as far as to back up a little bit on the CRM, and I don't want to throw Dubsado under the bus. It's not Dubsado.
It's not Dubsado's fault.
It's me. Yeah. And the person that set it up for me did nothing wrong. I thought I needed it and I didn't need it. One thing I have learned in the last 3 months. So my business was a little slow the first 6 months, and then it grew by 1,000% in the last half of this year. And so what I realized is I would have been ready for a CRM this next year. I didn't need it this last year. That CRM caused me a lot of stress and a lot of frustration and a lot of money. And I didn't have enough business at the beginning to really be able to utilize it to the full potential.
I
And
also think it
so,
hurt your confidence too. I think going
oh,
back to the confidence
absolutely.
thing, I think it made you
Mhm,
believe that like, oh, I'm not, I can't do this. Like it was a
mhm.
confidence dropper.
It really was. And to know that I am great at texting, calling, emailing. I'm good at all of that. And I should have leaned on that versus expecting a system that would do it all for me. I didn't need an CRM to be able to reach out to my clients for me. I wanted to. I wanted to initiate it. I wanted to, whatever my mood was that day or how I was feeling. If I was in a really great mood, I wanted it to be able to shine through in that email or that text or that phone call. And it just gave me a sense of control. So I don't need the automated systems. I don't want the automated systems moving forward. As of now, that might change for some reason if I grow, but for now, I like it. I like that personal touch. And I think that's very important for new organizers in business to figure out what their strengths are and lean on them. If you're a super techie person and sitting in front of that computer, getting those workflows going gives you that confidence, I say go for it.
Yep.
If you are the person that wants to go out and talk to people or do a workshop or go to a chamber meeting and talk about your business, go for it. You need to do work on your strengths.
Yes. And I also think that it's some of that timing is the amount of business you have and what your business looks like. And so it might be your first year, you actually don't need that because you actually need to develop develop that muscle strength of like, hey, I know what it's like to respond to a client and I can do
Mhm.
all of that. Or it may be I have enough business now that I'm starting to miss some things. And man, I could really use some automated systems to make sure I'm not missing anything. It's all about the season of business that you're in.
And that's a really good point. I think when you allow yourself to have some growing pains, you learn more effectively.
Yeah.
So if I would have started my CRM now, I probably wouldn't have had such a mind block learning curve over it because it would have made more sense to me because I've had so many different situations and back and forth and different types of clients. I think it's important to allow yourself to grow before you start thinking that you need it all in place day one,
Yeah.
which is what I thought I needed, but I didn't.
And getting some of that learning process too, that can go for a lot of things. Like one example I always think of is I do virtual consults now. I do consultations on FaceTime or Zoom, but I'm really glad that I had 2+ years of doing them in person under my belt before I switched to that, because I think that's really
Yes.
important to learn. What does the sales process look like? What is it like to talk to a client? What are the important things I need to ask? All those things. It's some of that you kind of earn the right to need to use some of the
Absolutely.
things, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Oh, I think so. That's a great way to put it. You unless you're in a spaces, other people's spaces,
Yeah.
you're not going to know how to on a Zoom call say, "Hey, can you show me that corner one more time?" Or wait, what's that up there?
Right.
Yeah, you need to be able to give yourself knowledge before you start diversifying what you're going to use to control that knowledge.
I want to go back to it. You touched on it, but I really want to talk about SEO and Google. How did you learn about those things this year? And how did it impact your business?
Yes, definitely. First of all, in the Inspired Organizer group is where I was connected to Bree, and she does website design. But then she also had a team that did other aspects to setting up that website. And that was where I was introduced. I didn't even know what SEO was, by the
Yeah.
way. And that's where I was introduced to that. I've had a few people reach out to me this last year wanting to know how to start an organizing business. And that is a huge question. And that's always my response. That's a really big question.
Yes.
My best advice is to start picking up the breadcrumbs, follow the breadcrumbs and pick them up. And so that's basically what I have done in this whole Google SEO trail is I just keep taking one piece at a time and moving forward. And so the gal who set up my SEO, she also has an Instagram account that she throws out SEO tips, free
Mhm.
SEO tips all the time. So I follow that. I read her newsletters. I listen to other people. It's big. Like SEO to me is very complex. It's very big, and I don't understand all of it. I just know it's very, very important.
But you
So
don't have to understand all of it as an
I don't
organizer.
No, I don't have to understand all of it. And I think if I had the patience, I probably could have sat in front of my computer and figured out how to get that integration going. And I probably could have had some help within our Inspired Organizer group. Everybody's always so willing to help each other, but I didn't. I don't have patience. So I did. I paid to have it done. And I'm glad I did. Now, that's not to say I just do it one time and that's it.
Right.
It evolves, and I have to, my website will become stagnant if I don't continually tweak it, add, take away, change pictures. And you just learn all of that along the road. But I will say all of this knowledge, most of my breadcrumbs come from our Inspired Organizer group.
There's so much knowledge there. People have so many things that they're able to throw out. That
so
I was like,
many.
oh my gosh, I didn't know about that. That's amazing.
Yeah. It allows you to go, oh, wait, I wasn't aware of that. I better go and do a little investigation on that. Again, more breadcrumbs, follow them, and it will lead you in good places, really, as far as, the SEO piece has been for me.
And I will say too about SEO, when I said you don't have to know everything about SEO as an organizer, because the thing that I love about organizing is you can know that the teensiest tip of the iceberg about SEO and it will help your website. Just a little bit. Like, we are not running Facebook here. We are not, running a digital platform that is so complex that we have to pay someone a ton of. There are a few SEO things for organizers. We've done prior podcast episodes on it. Definitely go back and listen to those, but it is so critical to have that digital foundation of your business. And by the way, digital foundation does not include social media. It includes your website, SEO, Google business profile. That's your digital foundation. And that is where the bulk of your business is going to come in.
You are so right. We're trying to hit local.
Yes.
I mean, as an in-home organizer, I should say for myself, I'm trying to hit local. So your SEO is a little tighter and not quite as complex. So it's definitely doable.
Has there been anything that has surprised you about your own ability to handle things, or how you've been able to handle your business this year?
That is a really great question. And that's a question I should really reflect on for 2023. I've had a few moments. I've had a few panic moments of, I can't do this. Yeah. Chad, my better half, has met me for a beer close by many jobs to talk me off the ledge. And he's come in and saved me on a few jobs too, being my handyman. What I have learned from those situations is I just need to take a breath. I need to take a step back, and I need to take it one piece at a time.
Yep.
I had a garage that basically knocked me over. It was so intense, and it took me a little bit to wrap my head around it. But I surprised myself when I started to pick away at it that, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
Sometimes in these larger projects, you got to just look at one corner at a time.
Yep.
As a solo, I'm a solo organizer. I don't have a team. I don't think anybody would want to work with me, but except my daughter. She's the only one that can handle me. But yeah, I think for me, problem solving this last year surprised me. I was able to problem solve.
That's a great one, because I never really realized that when I started. Your job is essentially, like, an organizer is just a constant problem solver. And the problems can come at you in a lot of different directions. And there might be new problems every 5 minutes.
Kind of. And for ladies or gentlemen going into their business, I think it's important to know you don't have to run into these places and you're not on a stopwatch. I like to refer to it as you're not on the Price is Right. The clock isn't ticking. Take your time. Don't rush.
Yes.
They don't have anything to compare it to. And I did that in some of my beginning jobs. I literally felt like I was in that grocery store games or whatever it is, where you just had to run and grab like certain items and get to the checkout. That's how I felt. And it's really important to take your time, give yourself some momentum buildup, because it comes after you've sat in that project for a couple hours. It just starts to go.
I find my personality is I always want to have the answer, and I want to have the answer like immediately. And one of the things I had to learn for myself is sometimes you have to stop and take a step back and say, I need to think about this for a minute. I need to stop and look at this room and figure out my plan. And I'll say it to clients sometimes, like, hey, I need a second to think about a couple things. I'm not ignoring you. I need to think about this. And stopping and giving yourself a little bit of that space to figure something out. Nobody expects you to have every single answer at your fingertips perfectly. And that was something that I had to get over too.
Yeah, definitely. Can I touch on one more thing?
Oh, absolutely.
I want to throw out my social media take.
I'm ready.
Okay. I talked earlier about finding your strengths and using those to give yourself confidence within your business. And if your strength is social media, like it comes naturally to you, you love doing a reel and you can just, like, it's easy for you, I say go for it. But what I think is important for new organizers and even ones that have been in business for a little bit, this is something I really have just finally had a light bulb go off. Social media is an extension of networking, only locally though. Unless you have an online offering or you have an online course, that's a whole different ballgame. And that's, I can't speak on that because that's not what I'm doing. But if you are just organizing in home, I think it's important to understand that the bulk of your business is not going to come from Instagram or Facebook.
Correct.
It's an extension of your SEO on Google.
Yeah.
Because what they're going to do is they're going to find you and then they're going to go head over onto your social media. Now, your social media might seal the deal.
It might confirm what they're already thinking about you.
Sure. And I've had a couple clients say they picked me because my social media was real. I showed my family. They could get an idea of who I was. And that's great. But they found me from Google.
Right.
So I have decided moving forward into 2023, my social media is another extension of networking locally. So my social media following for me is important to be local people so that I can promote other businesses and show support for them. And hopefully in return, they'll think of me in the future. It's very dangerous to get stuck down into a rabbit hole of followers and links and postings and all of this stuff. And I do think you need to have some value to your social media.
For sure.
Definitely some value, but just be really careful not to put too much time into it. Put your time into your SEO integration into your website, and then have the social media be just a byproduct of you.
I think that so many, especially newer organizers, they just think they have to do it. And they think they have to have tons of followers. And by the way, Instagram is a freaking hamster wheel. So the faster you go on that wheel, it's going to keep speeding up. And then they're going to go, oh, you learned how to do reels. Cool. Now you have to learn how to do this other thing over here. Oh, you learned how to do that other thing over here. Oh, we actually are going to, now we're reprioritizing still pictures. You are constantly going to be chasing something. And the other thing that I look at on my own social media, because I enjoy doing social media, but I do it. You can check any of my feeds. I do it haphazardly. There's no strategy whatsoever to it. What I find too is, and by the way, I love connecting with other organizers. Most of the people that like and comment on my posts are other organizers. Mm-hmm. And I love that because I love community and I love working with organizers and meeting other organizers. But those people are not hiring me for organizing jobs. They're not coming to Home by 11 because they really want me to organize their house. And so that I just want to make sure that you're careful about, it's a little bit of an echo chamber. And then I think this will lead us to something else too, which is comparing yourself against what other organizers are doing. Because if another organizer is doing 7 reels a day, then you go, oh crud, maybe I need to be doing 7 reels a day. And you start on a different hamster wheel.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of community, there really is a great community out there of organizers.
Absolutely.
Not just an our inspired organizer. And last year when I did the podcast, one of the things I said was reach out to people, tell them if they've inspired you.
Yes.
I shy against asking organizers how to start a business, but let them know you inspired me. I listened to you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I still believe in that wholeheartedly. I still do it to this day. Other organizers in your area, reach out to them, say hi. it's not as cutthroat as you think. I hurt my leg a week ago, and I had 2 organizers locally ready to jump in and
Oh,
take care of my clients.
that's
Ready,
so
just
nice.
ready to jump in.
Yep.
I fortunately was able to adjust them enough that I didn't have to utilize that, but they were doing that out of the kindness of their heart. And it is so important to connect to other organizers locally and globally. There's quite a few that I go back and forth with on a regular basis, and it's nice. It's really nice.
One of the things that I personally had a hard time adjusting to, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, is like I came from businesses where it was cutthroat. Like you hated your competitors, you didn't talk to them. First of all, it was illegal to talk to them in some cases, but also like you would see them at a trade show and be like, "Oh, it's that guy from blah blah blah." Like I'm going to give him a dirty look, whatever. Organizers are so nice. I have local organizers that I have helped build their businesses. I have local organizers that, I mean, theoretically, they're my competition, but I send people to them. I'll say, hey, I'm not taking new clients right now, but I would love to send you to these 2 or 3 people. Developing that local network of other organizers is a beautiful thing. And we really don't compete. There is enough business out there for all of us.
Yes, yes, there absolutely is. I haven't overlapped with anybody, not
Yeah.
even close.
Let's talk a little bit about one of my favorite subjects, comparisonitis, because I don't think you'll mind me saying, I know
No,
this was something that you struggled with at the beginning was, well, that organizer's doing that and that organizer's doing that. Tell us a little bit about your journey on comparison.
absolutely. Yeah, very easy to do at the beginning. You see all of these warehouses and their garages are their inventory, and you see vans and you see teams and you see mock speed reels of them organizing, thinking you have to be that fast, or cool t-shirts, cool hats. I do have cool hats, by the way.
Fantastic. I'll be looking forward to mine coming in the mail.
I, do- I love my hats, but there's so much that can be wrapped up into that.
Yeah.
That could be years of experience. It could be simply a show. You just you do not know what that person that has the van and maybe storage in their garage or their own storage facility, maybe they started their business 5 years ago, but were they doing it on the side prior to that? You don't know what the lead up was to get to that point. And I, for the first time in about 10 months, am at peace with that. And this year, am so happy to be where I'm at, my steady growth. I don't have to parade it. I do like to show before and afters. I know quite a few of my local people like that. They enjoy seeing before and afters, and mine aren't always glamorous, but those are important to me to show. Sometimes in action during an organizing job, that's fun to show, but being okay with where you are, the pace you're going, and what you're doing behind the scenes is just the most important part. And if you're following those accounts that tend to get you into a spiral, unfollow them. Just unfollow them
100%.
for a period of time. It's nothing personal against them. It's a you problem. And also, if that doesn't bother you, glean off of what they're doing. Take some ideas. Use some of the product. Oh, I haven't seen that product before. Use it for good, not evil. Don't let it get you down, for sure.
Use it to energize yourself. And then if you see something where you're like, oh my gosh, that is an amazing idea, I want to go implement that. Cool. Then you go, how do I do that? What does that look like for my business? How can I tweak it for own clients, my own area? But yeah, if you have something, I love that advice. If you have someone that you are just judging yourself against so hard and it's making you feel bad about yourself. By the way, that goes for personal social media too. If there's someone in your personal social media that you're like, this is really draining me. This is an energy suck for me. Just gratefully say, thank you so much. I just need to take a little bit of a break.
Yeah. Just like Marie Kondo, thank it for giving you the joy.
Thank it for its service and send it on its way. By the way, for some people, I have advocated, I'm thinking about one person that I love in my life specifically. I advocated get off all social media. Do not look at Instagram. Do not post on Instagram. Do not post on Facebook. Don't do it because it's so detrimental to how you feel about yourself and your business. So you can just take a break. It doesn't have to be forever, but you can just take a break.
Yeah, it can definitely be toxic.
I know an organizer who said she was shutting off all of her social media for this entire year, and she has stayed off. And by the way, she's not suffering one bit from it business-wise. Nothing that says you have to be on it and looking at it all the time.
And another point on that too, in looking at some of these organizers doing really big, amazing things, you have to decide, is that what you want? For me, this year it came to a decision that I'm a grandmother for the first time. My last daughter is a sophomore at University of Oregon. All my kids are out. I want to enjoy some time.
Yeah.
I don't want to be tied to an inventory list. I don't want to be tied to employees. I don't want to be tied to a whole bunch of stuff. And so for me, I'm keeping it very simple and I'm still doing very well. I just have super low overhead. So
it's about, it really like, it's simple, but it's complex, right? It's about what do you need to get? So what does your business need to provide for you? Whether that's financial, social, whatever. And then it's about how do you get there? And then it's about what are your stretch goals? You need this, but man, it would make me really happy if I got this. Like, example, I have a child going to college next year. So I'm like, hey, where are all those organizing jobs? I need all of them. Right. But
exactly,
4 years from now, I might be more in your neck of the woods where I'm like, you know what? I want to slow down a little bit. I don't need to do that. It's about the season of your life and where does your business fit into there? And you don't have to say, oh yeah, I would like a team of 7 unless you want a team of 7 and then go do it. But the comparisonitis goes for a lot of different things. And it's got to be about what you want and what you need.
And what your bandwidth is. A team of 7 means a lot of back end business stuff that will probably put me into a tailspin. So why would I even want to put myself through that?
Versus there are people listening to this that are like, oh my gosh, that sounds exciting. And I want that. Awesome. Love it.
Yep.
Love that journey for you. Yeah. Well, I want to go back to something you just said, which is really getting out and talking about your business. I've said it a million times before. I will continue to say it. I have never had a job in my entire life that people wanted to talk about more than professional organizing. There is not a person who is not like, wait, tell me more about that. Wait, what do you do? What, even if it, by the way, I'm just going to say it. There are some men in my life that are like, wait, you get paid for that? Yes, I do actually quite well. I am telling you, if you just tell people, hey, I'm a professional organizer. Oh my gosh, you actually might have to cut off the conversations. So telling people what you do in your personal network, making sure that everybody knows what you do for a living. I'm telling you, that is the best weapon you have in your arsenal.
Absolutely. I love going out and talking. And you're right, you do have to cut people off.
Yeah.
And I will give some advice to new organizers. The first question you're going to get asked is, what's the craziest thing you've ever found?
100%.
And I will tell you what I have found. But even if you haven't found something, make something up because they think it's the coolest thing in the entire world.
The second question you're going to be asked is, so how many hoarders do you work with? Everybody loves the H word.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast.
Right. I tell people, you know what? I think it's what you're missing is like, that's a very small part of the population. And I know it's been popularized on television, but it's not really who we work with. I work with just normal people every day that need a little bit of help. But yeah, you start to get like scripts that you can say to all the questions that you get.
Yeah. Start working on your scripts.
Yes, exactly. What are you happy that you learned in the last year about yourself?
I am so happy that I confidently can walk into a home and know that I can solve the problem.
Yep.
There truly isn't a problem I can't solve. I'm not saying that I can do it all on my own, but there literally hasn't been, and I don't feel like there's going to be a problem, an area that I can't solve. And I think my biggest challenge this year was doing my camper van, like a sprinter van style. That was my biggest challenge.
Yeah.
That was
sometimes the smallest spaces are the biggest problem. So
yeah. That one packed a big punch, but definitely being able to walk in and know that I can help anybody that wants my help. Not saying I want to help everybody. There are some clients that I don't want to help.
They're not your favorite.
No, for the most part, though, everybody is so wonderful that I've worked with.
I will tell you, there's a line, I think I've talked about it on the podcast before. There's a line from the show Seinfeld, which was one of my favorite shows when it was on, but they're talking about how you can't really ever do a charitable act because you get something from it too. You know, you can't just selflessly do something because you're like, oh, I feel good that I helped someone. And so I feel that way about my work at Pro Organizer Studio. Like, I love doing it because I love seeing people grow and change. So I feel like selfish that I get a lot out of seeing people, but I mean this so sincerely. From the first time that I met you versus just 1 year later, you were a great person to start out with, but you're even greater now. You have grown so much. You have changed so much in terms of your mindset, and you have done the work. And it's so rewarding to be able to see like what 1 year can do to someone. So I love it.
Well, thank you. That is so sweet.
I mean it so sincerely. And I feel it about so many people that we get to work with. But one of the reasons I wanted to have you on the podcast is because people heard from you a year ago, and just being able to see like what you have learned in the space of 1 year, 365 days. You could do a ton of stuff in 1 year.
You can, and you can grow so much. And yes, I thank you for that reminder, because I'm very excited this year to see where I go and see what I learn. I just can't believe how much I've learned. Never stop learning.
Yeah.
You can't learn enough. Just fill her up.
Absolutely. What have you taken from that kind of learning to help you moving forward as you start into your second year and hopefully third and fifth and 10th year?
Oh, I'll be there. For me, so my new word, I would like to share my new word.
I'm excited. Drum roll.
Are you ready? My new word is intentional.
I love that.
This year is all about being intentional in my actions. I will be thoughtful in what I'm doing. I'm giving myself time to process. I'm not making quick decisions. I'm going to allow myself to think for myself until I feel like I need to bring in another opinion, which will bring me to another subject of other organizers around the country.
Okay.
But I'm going to be intentional about my time. I'm going to be intentional about my shopping when I do it. This last year was really difficult for me to go shopping for like 2 projects at a time.
Okay.
But this year I've figured out a process about how am I going to shop for 2 projects at a time when I'm at a store or I'm online. So just being very intentional about my actions. And that goes for anything that I'm going to put my money or my time or my brain into, as far as apps, programs, whatever it might be, any sort of groups, and that I'm going to give my time to. Why am I doing it? And what am I hoping to get out of it? And that I think is very important for anybody looking into resources within the business to figure out why am I doing it and what am I hoping to get from it. And knowing that you need to put the energy and the time into it. Things aren't going to be done for you. It's very important.
And that's an important thing, because I found myself last night scrolling for whatever reason. I don't know if it's the end of the year and everybody's selling a billion things. I was scrolling through Instagram and I kept getting fed all these ads about courses and education and do this, try this funnel and that. I mean, things that are more relevant to my work at Pro Organizer Studio. And I found myself feeling a little bit of FOMO, like, oh, maybe that's magic. Oh, maybe that's magic. And then I'm like, no, I need to step back. And I love what you said about how would I use this? When would I use it? Am I going to use it? Because there are a million things out there and you can buy 1,000 things. But if you're going to spend that money, then how are you going to use that thing? How are you going to implement it in your business? What are you going to learn from it? And then what gaps does it fill in your knowledge, in your education, whatever that looks like for you?
That I am so glad you brought that up. I was thinking about that. I almost want to say social media, newsletters, whatever emails you might be signed up for is like a feeding ground. And you have to be careful. You have to be really careful on what you decide is going to be your magic potion to get your business, because the energy that you're putting into all of the things could be put into a YouTube SEO tutorial that you could just zip over to your website and make it sound so simple. I wouldn't even know how to do that right now. But you could be putting your time and energy into learning the SEO tricks to get your website more exposure. And I was told at the beginning how important that was. And
who told you that? Just asking.
This lady, this one lady, this one lady that wears red glasses. I think it's so easy to get sucked into so many different rabbit holes. So easy. And to try and avoid those at all cost is really, really important. I think we have to be careful on what advice we throw to newer organizers on how to find their business. What one organizer did at the beginning of her business versus what she's doing right now on year 4, 5, or 10 is going to be so different than that new organizer is going to be doing on, in year 1. So what happened 4 years ago is different. And what's happening for that organizer right now is very different. And I find this trap of newer organizers feeling like they have to depend on third-party people to get them their business.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need to go visit this real estate office. I need to go visit this real estate agent. Oh, I found this designer and that really truly is not going to be where you're going to find your clients. First of all, there are so many real estate agents out there and they're all clawing for business, especially right now.
Right now.
So,
I mean,
putting
really
your
bad
eggs
right now.
in a basket with an agent that might only have exposure to 10 different people, you aren't most likely going to get business off of that. Now, that isn't to say that it's not somebody you should keep connected with. Sure. I think you need to change your thinking and that these third-party professionals are going to bring you your business. And I just don't think that is where you should put your energy at the beginning of your business.
Yeah. Referrals are such a huge part of so many organizers' businesses. But when we say referrals, what we mean is a very happy client refers you to all their friends. I fell into the real estate trap at the beginning too. And one of the reasons we're talking about this is because it comes up in our Inspired Organizer Facebook group a lot and newer organizers naturally, because I did it. I thought, oh my gosh, realtors, what is the most natural place? Who's in homes all the time? Oh, it's realtors. Right. And you, by the way, full disclosure, used to be a realtor.
I was a realtor.
You know better than everyone. But, it seems like it's a natural fit, but it's not in actuality. And does that make sense? Absolutely not. But relying on that or putting like you said, all of your eggs in that marketing basket and that networking basket is not going to yield you the client base that you often think it would or should.
When you interviewed Corey from Meat and Potatoes recently, she talked about her BNI group, her chamber. And I do think that there is something for putting energy into those smaller groups.
In local groups where you're cross referring. I know I talked about this recently. My clients, I cannot believe the number of times I am called upon to provide referrals for people like handyman and, all of these things.
I know.
And so, I mean, I have a handyman that I adore. If you're in the Minneapolis area, hit me up because he's amazing. But really that local referral group, because it's not just one type of people. It's not just one type of business person. It's many different types of business people in a chamber or a BNI group. And so we have a lot of people in our group that are really, really big on in-person local networking. And if that is something that is your jam, absolutely do that.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. That was one of my notes I wrote down is being an organizer, you're a resource manager. Yes. And so you need to be that one. Figure out how you can be that person that is that reference person. You're going to get so much more business in the long run being that person than you waiting for somebody to be that for you. And that's kind of been my mission.
I will give you my hot tip on that too. The reason that I was able to find all the resources that I recommend to people too is also because I said yes to clients who asked me to do things that weren't specifically organizing. So for instance, I have an amazing painter. He just did the exterior of my house. It looks amazing. I got this painter because I had a client that's like, I don't really like to pick paint colors. Do you like to pick paint colors? I'm like, heck yes, I do. I picked all the paint colors for his house and found him a painter. And then I got connected with him. I found the handyman because I had a client that's like, man, I really need a handyman. Do you have someone good? I reached out to my network, found a guy, tried him out on a few things, tried him out in my own home. He's amazing. So sometimes I get these people because I have said, yeah, sure, I'll try that for you, client. And I got paid for something that is organizing adjacent, I call it, but it
Yes.
really helps improve my business too. It makes me a resource to my clients also.
Being resourceful is a great tool to have in your pocket.
Yeah. I always say too that that resourcefulness, I think, translates also into the in-home experience. I pride myself on being able to pick something weird up and have the client go, "What is that?" And then I'm like, "Oh, I know what that is. It's the screw to the blah blah blah
Yes.
that we organized in this room the other day." So I love doing that.
Yes. It's so amazing how the inventory that I have in my brain of my clients'
Yes,
homes. It's
totally.
kind of scary.
Or I did a kitchen recently and the guy was like, "What is that even?" Like, he had a bunch of stuff that he didn't know what it was. I'm like, "It's an apple corer." And he's like, "Well, what would I use that for?" I'm like, "Do you plan on making a lot of apple pies from scratch? If no, then we can say goodbye to this." So,
Right.
I feel like we might have gotten a little bit off track, and I wanna make sure I
Yes.
don't forget.
Sorry.
Tell me no, you don't have to apologize, it's
That's
my fault.
common with me. You know that.
Listen, I love it. I can go all different directions. But so if you could go back to a year ago at this time, what I mean, I think you've gone over a little bit, but like, what would you say, "Hey, girl, don't do this."
I know, right? Okay. So, first of all, don't assume you know what you like to do as far as organizing.
Oh, I like this.
Yes.
Ah,
So,
talk to us about this.
I know you have to, in my first podcast a year ago, I was all about garages and shops.
Yes,
And
you were.
I do, I really still love them on my own property, not somebody else's property.
Yeah.
Going through somebody else's garage stuff is really draining. It's very draining. It's very physical, and it's not what I thought I was going to enjoy. What I enjoy, I love pantries and laundry rooms,
Mm,
Airbnbs all day long. My top three. Those are my top three. And I didn't know that.
yeah.
So don't assume at the beginning, do not assume, do not limit yourself. Don't limit yourself to what you think you want to organize or who you want to organize for. I really think it's important to give yourself an opportunity to test the waters in lots of areas.
I think
Number
this goes
one.
back to what we were talking about earlier in terms of you've gotta try a few things out, and you've got
Mhm.
to determine for yourself what works and what doesn't, because you might surprise yourself either direction, whether it's, "Hey, I love doing this." By the way, I love garages, but you have to figure out for yourself what you want to say yes or no to going forward.
I think that also empowers you to be able to love your job even more. It
Yes.
reminds you that I'm in this because I'm doing something I love. So when we work in a corporate atmosphere or we work for somebody else, we continually have to do things we don't want to do. And it gets us into this place of I'm so unhappy. I don't like my job. When you work for yourself and you're an organizer, you can go in and do a job you don't like, but guess what? You get to not ever go back and do that if you choose not to.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think that is fantastic.
I love being able to pick and choose what works for me. And even if it's something that, I don't love doing XYZ, I also know I only have to do it for 5 more hours and then I'm done. I don't have to do it for infinity.
Mhm,
Like I don't
mhm.
I don't have to be here for, 2 more years. But I love what you're saying about you can say this works for me, this doesn't work for me. Or you could say it doesn't work for me for the next 3 months, but it might work for me again in the summer. I don't know. You get to change the
Right.
rules as much as you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's going to help you along with your processes.
What has surprised you about yourself? Like, in terms of, like, organizing in someone's house, what has surprised you this year?
I think what has surprised me is how, at least for me, my clients, they become friend is a strong word. It's a different relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, you are in these people's business, and it has just surprised me at how important I have become in their life.
Yep.
And it's really an honor, and how I've impacted children at very young ages that ask if Miss Kim is going to come and do my room.
Yeah.
Is Miss Kim going to come put my stuffed animals in a pretty row?
Yeah.
That has surprised me honestly the most at what we mean to people. It's not just about getting their functional systems, it's about peace of mind and what that means to them.
And the amount of trust that people place in you. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
amazing when you think about it. It's like your house is your
Yes.
most valuable resource, and people just open their houses for us and all of
To
the things
go
in their
through
house. Yeah.
everything. Yeah. All kinds of surprises,
Yes,
but it's fine. It adds an element of excitement to the
it
job.
does. It really does.
Uh,
Uh,
yeah.
So you said earlier that your word of the year is intentional. What
Yeah.
else? What does the landscape of 2023 look like for you?
Landscape of 2023 is being very intentional with my time. So I am going to be a little more thoughtful in when I'm scheduling which days and which times. I'm going to be a little bit more thoughtful in my shopping days and times. I'm going to try and do more online versus in person. That first year, it was really great to get hands on, see things, understand things, touch and feel, and all of that. And now it's become a little bit more about measurements. And I think that is really great. Next in line after in home organizing is going to be workshops for me.
Okay,
I
tell
did
us
my
more.
first, yeah, I did my first workshop in October and it was a huge success. I had an amazing turnout. It was exhilarating and I absolutely loved it. So I will be doing quarterly workshops this year to be able to get into the community a little bit more personal so that those that cannot or don't want to invest into my services in home can still connect with me, email me, go back and forth after they've been to one of my workshops to troubleshoot any areas that they have in their home. You know, it's not going to be in-depth DIY plans, but just as a resource to
Yeah,
them to come to me if they so choose. Yeah.
I love that. Just a quick word on workshops too. Just a little plug. I have done a bunch of seminars or workshops at local libraries, and you get paid for it. Libraries actually have budgets. So if you go to the library event coordinator and be like, hey, I'm a professional organizer, I'd love to talk to people about blah, 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 you might be surprised. You can get paid pretty decently to do a little workshop. I love talking to people. So it makes me really happy. But I
Yeah.
love your local workshop idea too. It's awesome.
Yeah, definitely those. And I had somebody reach out to me and ask if I would do a workshop in their home
Yeah.
to their
Like a
friends.
Tupperware
So
party, only
kind of
organizing.
like a Tupperware party for organizing. So I'm wrapping my head around that and trying to figure out the logistics in that. So that's just another avenue that I want to take my job. And when I hurt my leg recently, it made me realize that I need to have maybe a little something else
Yeah.
to fall back on other than my legs.
We might need to do a whole like separate episode on workshops and things like that because I really believe in them. They are really good and you can get paid for them. And there are lots of different ideas like doing one in someone's home for a mom's group, for instance. And then you get exposure to a bunch of moms in one place that then all want to hire you. I have done them for a few groups around Minnesota, just done a Zoom presentation and then it turns into business. So I think there are lots of really great workshop ideas that are out there.
Yeah, I think so. And I found a lot of my workshop attendees were not social media followers, but then became social media followers, but said that they really enjoyed following me. So
Yeah.
that is where I finally came to what I figured out social media was for me. It was an extension. It was an extension to my local community.
I love that. Do you have any big goals for 2023 that you want to reach? Or are you just
Oh, I
letting it?
have fun. No, I'm not letting it roll. I have financial goals that I want to reach, and I have narrowed those down to weekly goals, hourly goals, and how I'm going to achieve those. And that's a big one. That puts a lot of weight on my shoulders. But if I'm intentional about my actions, I wasted quite a bit of time in 2022 chasing my own tail. But 2023 is going to be different for
Well,
sure.
you've got it locked in. And then the other thing that you can do is say, like, okay, once you back into what, you say, this is what I need, then you back into it. Then you can say, oh, I need to pump the brakes a little bit, or I need to press the gas. And it allows you to figure out, if you know your numbers, there's no mystery to it, right? It's just a number is just a piece of data. And it's not about your self-worth or anything else, but it helps you guide what are my efforts going to look like.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to spend more time out in front of people, introducing myself. And I'm excited for that. That's what excites me. I pretty much this last month started trimming back all the fat and discontinuing a lot of apps that I had, a lot of programs that I had. I even got rid of, you're all going to think I'm nuts, but I'm not even doing QuickBooks.
Okay.
To my good old notepad.
There you go.
It's how my brain works. And I'm really happy with all my decisions and where I'm at. Dubsado is still going to stay on my plate because I've invested so much money and I figured out enough that it would be difficult for me to go backwards and not have those things. But
you learned how to use it in the right way.
I can maneuver slightly. I can make an invoice.
All right. I was trying to give you a little bit of extra credit.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I do have a handful of organizers that I've reached out to where they're ready to jump in and just kind of help me with some pain points that I have. So that's good. I'm not willing to spend any more money on it.
Yeah. So I love it. Well, you said you have a daughter who's a sophomore in college. You're a sophomore in your business now. So you're ready to go.
I am. Yes.
Freshman year is over.
I do want to give a shout out to all three of my girls. They all are so patient with me and my needs. They still don't help me very much, but they're so patient with me. And I just want to, just a quick reminder, my oldest one is a finance major, University of Georgia. She came over to try and help me and gave up. Courtney, my middle daughter, she's a social media manager for a big social media firm in New York City. And I get 0. I get a good job, Mom. You grew 20 followers. And then Caitlin is my gifted writer. She actually just got props from her college professor that she truly is a gifted writer. She is going to get her teaching degree for special education, but I get no help in newsletters or blogs. So I have 3 amazing girls that really, truly do not help me. My biggest helper is my Chad. He's great. Yes. My shelf hanger. He's been awesome. So that's another thing people need is their support system. Find your cheerleaders and stick with them.
Yep. And I know we've talked about, social media isn't the be all end all, but I will say you did have a very funny reel recently with your daughter. So I'm not going to spoil it. Just going to look at it. It's hilarious.
She threw me a bone. Yeah. And that wasn't even the social media daughter. That was the writing daughter.
Right. I know. I love it. So no, it is, all joking aside, even though, you have these very talented daughters who might not, give you daily help on your business. It is to have people behind you who believe in you. And one of the things I have said about my husband is he believes in me more than I believe in myself sometimes. And so being able to find those people, it might not be your family, because I know sometimes families can also be a little bit challenging or questioning, but finding whomever that is that has your back and believes in you and can prop you up when you're having those bad days and take you out for a beer and tell you not to quit your business just because you had one bad day, whatever that looks like for you, those are good people to have. Well, your podcast, the one we did a year ago, was one of our most downloaded episodes. And so people just loved it. I think they're going to love this one too. So what you have to put on your calendar is I'm going to be checking in with you again. You're going to be
that's great.
Back on in 365 days so we can hear about your sophomore year of organizing.
I love it. So if anybody goes back to listen to my first one, I want to touch on a couple things. Yeah. I don't want to do shops.
Yeah.
Even though I said, and our shop still isn't completed. Mueller Construction is way behind still. I did have t-shirts made. Yes. They do not have crass sayings on the back. They just say, you don't need that.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes.
I always wear it to places like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Target. I have more people comment on my t-shirts that say, I don't need that. And I'll hear somebody go, you're right, I don't. And I'll turn around like, what are you talking about?
I love that.
On my t-shirt. I get so many conversations on my t-shirts. Yes.
Love that. We may have to add that. I may have to give you a commission and we'll have to add that to the Pro Organizer Studio shirt shop.
Yeah. You don't need that, period.
It's true, man. There are so many houses I go in, because by the way, I used to be this person, Amazon packages on the doorstep 200 times a day, and you don't need it. You really don't.
Yeah.
It's really stressful. Okay. Where can people find you? RusticHomeOrganizing.com. I know that one.
Yes. Or rhorganizing.com. Either gets you there. Instagram is rustic_home_organizing. And then Facebook is just Rustic Home Organizing. And I'm always happy to answer direct messages. I love it. I just had somebody yesterday listen to the podcast from a year ago and reach out and say hi. I just love it. I think it's great.
Kim is a giver, you guys, like for real. I'm not just saying this. She loves talking to people because she loved reaching out to people, and she knows how important it is that, you know, you pay it forward in terms of helping people. So she really loves to hear from people genuinely. And I love that. And I will say, check out her website because it is gorgeous. It's genuinely, I often send it to people looking for website inspiration. So check Kim out, reach out to her, say hi, tell her you listen to all of her podcasts. She'll be on the podcast 55 more times before she retires. So, all right. Thank you so much, friend. Thank you so much for listening to this second Rewind episode. Stay tuned. In a couple of days, we will have our brand new episode with Kim, where she talks about everything she learned in her second year of organizing. So much goodness in that conversation. Actually, it'll probably be broken up into two because we talked for a long time. When Kim and I talk, we talk for a really, really, really long time. I was interviewing her and I'm like, hey, dude, do you have to go? Like, are you okay? I can stay here all day, but you probably have things to do. So anyway, hit us up for that new conversation up in a couple of days. And thank you, as always, for listening to the Pro Organizer Studio podcast. And if I can do anything to help you in your business, please email me, hello@proorganizerstudio.com. It is really me that answers the emails. So I hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day, organizers.